all territory east of the Colorado River is recognized as Caesar's land, an area indisputably under control of the Legion.
Edward Sallow was born in 2226 to a family just outside of the Boneyard in California, where he remained until his father was killed by raiders. After that, Edward and his mother were forced to flee his childhood home. They eventually managed to find a home with the followers of the Apocalypse. Edward was given a full education by the followers of the Apocalypse, and he eventually became a scribe, specializing in anthropology and linguistics. At the age of 20, he was sent east with another follower by the name of Bill Calhoun. Their mission was to study the dialogue of tribes in Arizona. They were joined by a missionary named Joshua Graham, who was a tribal specialist. On the expedition, the group came across a number of books about ancient Rome, which improved Edward's knowledge about ancient history. It was from these texts, specifically Julius Caesar's Commentary, that Edward Sallow began to blueprint his vision of utopian society. In 2247, the expedition was staying with a tribe known as Blackfoot. This tribe was involved in conflict with many of the surrounding tribes, and it was evident to Sallow that the Blackfoot tribe were going to be wiped out. Sallow chose to educate the tribe in the art of warfare. Gaining the trust of the tribe, he soon became their leader, taking the name Caesar. Joshua Graham was told he was free to return home, but he chose to stay with Caesar, initially as a translator. He quickly became a leader in battle. Caesar picked his battles carefully, as his tribe was involved in conflict with 7 different enemies. He first destroyed the Ridgers, enslaving many of their able-bodied survivors and murdering the rest of their tribe. Caesar piled the bodies high just outside of camp, and used their carnage in order to intimidate his enemies. He fought off the other tribes one by one, until all 7 were either destroyed or assimilated into what was now referred to as Caesar's Legion. Together with Joshua Graham, his Malpais legate, Caesar established his first capital in the ruins of Flagstaff, Arizona. From there he began to build the culture of his legion. He assimilated the tribal cultures into the legion in order to eliminate individuality. He believed that an individual was only worth what he could offer to the bigger picture. By 2250, Caesar had declared himself son of Mars, Roman god of war, and he began assimilating tribes in northern Arizona, southwestern Colorado, western New Mexico, and southwestern Utah. This assimilation continued until 2274. By that point, the Legion now consisted of 87 tribes, and the tribal control of the area had been handily dissolved. Although the Legion outlined its territory by this point, they have no direct control over their territory, instead relying on fear of Caesar to keep their subjects in line. The massive army of the Legion was instead used to conquer more territory, such as Caesar's attempt to expand into the Mojave. When Caesar discovered the NCR, he thought he had found a worthy adversary. He was searching for an empire worthy of waging war upon. However, the NCR initially ignored Caesar, despite attacks on the outskirts of the Mojave. The first time the NCR recognized the Legion as a threat was during the war with the Brotherhood of Steel. It was then that the NCR became aware of the troops Caesar had amassed across the Colorado River. The Legion officially declared war on the NCR with the destruction of Fort Aradesh, or Fort Abandon. Caesar considered his conquest of the NCR to be akin to his namesake's conquest of Rome. His eventual goal was to return to his homeland in California and establish his empire, with Vegas at the heart of his capital. The war began with the Legion storming the NCR garrison at Hoover Dam, hoping to take the strategic river crossing. Graham had the upper hand initially, driving the NCR troops back to Boulder City. However, the NCR had booby-trapped the city, lining the retreat points with explosives. They activated the traps, leading to massive casualties on both sides. This led to an NCR counterattack, which resulted in the Legion troops being routed and sent back east. Caesar was angered by this failure, and decided to make an example out of his legate. He had him covered in pitch and lit on fire, and then sent into the Grand Canyon. He then restarted his goal to expand into the Mojave, fighting skirmishes in outskirt towns such as Nelson, and even making enough ground to reach the town of Nipton in California. In November of 2282, the Courier, unconvinced with Caesar's vision of society, decided to drive the Legion from Nevada. He respected the work Caesar had done in the East, and appreciated the safety the Legion had brought to the East. However, he decided the Legion would not have a positive impact in the Mojave, thinking they would send the culture and scientific thinking that was present in the area backwards a very long way. And although he respected Caesar, he decided the only way to preserve the future of New Vegas was to end the reign of the tyrant, and destabilize the leadership of the Legion. Puddy, accompanied by Craig Boone, stormed the Legion fort, and brought the great story of Edward Sallow to an end.